Folks, we've reached a point where a red line has to be drawn here. The Trooping the Color event starts this weekend, and if you know anything about this event, this is where the royal family showcases who has rank. Over the years, whoever is considered a senior royal gets to go on the balcony. And not getting a spot on the balcony is seen almost like a demotion. Anyway, this is supposed to be one of Kate's favorite events. The flower show was also supposed to be one of her favorite events, but if you recall, last year there was some kind of dust-up that made it into the press where Kate was accused of upstaging Charles and Camilla. Well, this year I guess they don't have to worry about Kate upstaging anybody. But folks, I was analyzing this situation today, and I came to the conclusion that Kate is not the only person missing here. We have not had any public statement from any member of Kate's family all year except for James Middleton. And all he seems to want to talk about is his dogs or his upcoming memoir. Now, don't get me wrong, I love dogs, but if my sister hadn't been heard from since last year, I would be talking about that. Or I would be talking about how her recovery is going, which tells me that James either doesn't know where she is or he is being paid to talk about something else. And also, James is the only member of Kate's family to come out with a public statement in support of Kate after the cancer video was released. But if you look at that statement, there is nothing that suggests he's actually seen her or visited her. And apart from him, no one else in Kate's family has spoken out publicly. Think about that. All year, there has not been a single public statement from Carol Middleton. The only report about her that has some connection with what's going on is this report that came out back in January about her being very worried about Kate's surgery. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. No public statement from her mother. Does no one find that suspicious? And as for Michael Middleton, I can't tell the last time anyone has heard from him. In fact, it's like he doesn't even have his own identity. He and Carol are the same person. No one has heard anything from him. And as for Peepa, there has been no public statement from her regarding Kate or anything else for that matter. Like I said, the only direct statements that have been made through the press are from James, and only one statement of his was regarding Kate's alleged cancer diagnosis. Does no one find this to be strange? Folks, talk me off a ledge here. Are we talking about at least 6 missing people here? The last anything was heard from Peepa were these pap shots that looked more like a staged photo shoot of her frolicking on a beach somewhere with her kids. Now, some people have said that the pictures are old, and I really don't know about that, but I'm going to give the press the benefit of the doubt and say that, okay, they're from February, like they said. That means that Peepa hasn't been seen since February. And as I mentioned before, she has made no public statement about anything regarding her sister or otherwise all year. There is this report of her and her husband starting some new event space business. And folks, what kind of family is this? Kate is supposedly ailing, and all we can hear about are either her parents' bankruptcy or her siblings' business prospects. First of all, with Kate trending at the top of every social media outlet right now, wouldn't you think that a statement or pap shot of Carol, Peepa, or even Michael would fetch a great deal right now? Especially after the quote-unquote birth family report from the Daily Beast. But everyone is so distracted on other things. It seems we haven't taken much notice that Kate's whole family, save for James, have gone missing. And I haven't even gotten to Charlotte and Louis yet. Now, Kate is supposed to be the colonel of the Irish Guard or some such thing like that. Now, I don't know how it works over there. Over here, you have to join the military to gain the rank of colonel. But anyway, I guess their system is different and they're the royal family, so they can do whatever they want. Fine, whatever. Now, remember, this event is a big deal for Kate. Every year, she has appeared on the balcony, burnishing her rank as a senior royal. And it has not gone unnoticed that her and Camilla have been involved in some kind of power struggle. I talked about that in a previous video where Kate refused to curtsy to Camilla. Anyway, go check out that video if you want. But the kids have appeared on the balcony ever since they were infants. And folks, I'm telling you right now, if Charlotte and Louis fail to appear on that balcony, whether it's this week or next, somebody in the comments knows more about the duration of this event. But there's a moment when they all appear on the balcony, and this is their way of showing who has rank and who's been knocked down a peg. If you recall, one of Camilla's reported utterances regarding Kate was that William should knock that common-born bedwarmer down a few pegs, unquote. So as much as they will try to have you believe that they are so saddened that Kate can't make it, just know that they are masking their true feelings behind all these sugary statements and empty gestures. And when you take stock of all that, you realize that Kate never stood a chance. She never stood a chance, not in this environment. Sure, she had William's protection for a while, but at some point, either she was deemed no longer useful, or she had enough of his crap and decided to leave, but couldn't make it out because she no longer had William's protection. And maybe she's not the only one. Her protection was removed, and now we are seeing the results of that in her absence. Anyway, my point tonight is we may very well be dealing with a situation here involving multiple missing people. I'm going to bring up this report that came out back in the middle of March, right after we saw this dodgy pap shot of Carol driving a car and looking kind of in distress, if you ask me. We had this report from a publication named Birmingham Gist. Now, I don't know this paper. It could be a local paper or it could be a made-up paper. I don't know. But what it tells me is that in the royal family, there seems to be a high statistical likelihood of members or people in close proximity to the royal family getting seriously injured or killed in car accidents. Diana herself predicted her own death in a car accident only 10 months before. Now, I wonder how many people will recall sometime last year, Harry and Meghan were in New York, and they reported that when they left their event, a group of paparazzi pursued them in a high-speed chase, causing the taxi driver to almost crash. The taxi driver, when interviewed by the NYPD, said that as they were driving, they were blocked by a dump truck where a group of men jumped out from behind. Harry said he got footage from his cell phone camera, and maybe at some point he's planning to release it. Maybe it will prove something that some may prefer be kept in the dark. Now, many people were quick to dismiss this incident as Harry and Meghan exaggerating and blah, blah, blah. But to me, this looked like it could have been an attempted hit. And because the press has convinced so many people that they should be hated, nobody took their account seriously. But just a couple months ago, this NYPD report came out corroborating their account of what happened that night. And finally, I've seen in the comments the question of what my intention is for this channel, and I think it's a valid question. Now, folks, let me just say that there is an aspect to this story that is entertaining. I would be lying if I denied that fact. And I think that is what has drawn many people to seek out answers on this topic as well. It has all the attributes of a gripping and entertaining story. We have intrigue, deception, jealousy, revenge, death, and at the heart of it, a missing princess. What's not fascinating about that? But there is another facet to this story. This is a scary story. This is a scary story. Why? Because we're talking about the possibility of people losing their lives and no one being held accountable owing to this family's centuries-old tradition of ruthlessness. And folks, I have a serious question to ask the people of Britain. Why are the people of Britain and anyone else who supports this family for whatever reason, why are you allowing them to get away with acting like a gangster family? Because that's what they seem like to me. A gangster family, willing to bump off anybody that gets into their way. They portray themselves as so honorable and above reproach, but the reality is that these are morally bankrupt people. They're not better than you. So why are you putting up with this garbage? And whenever anyone dares to ask the obvious questions that follow after seeing these ridiculous headlines, suddenly, from out of nowhere, this army of die-hard royalists descend upon the questioner, attacking them, accusing them of being heartless and cruel, and imploring that we all just give Kate enough time as she wants to get well. And folks, I don't know how many of these are actually real people. All it took was to put out some questionable video claiming that Kate has cancer, and that's all it took to get people to look the other way. Don't say anything, don't question anything, spew effusive, syrupy exaltations about how wonderful they all are, and how much you love and miss Kate, but that we should just let her have all the time she needs. BS. You don't give a crap about Kate or the kids. If you did, you would call them out when they've been caught lying. You would question everything they say after that. That is, if these people are even real and not PR bots. So, folks, all eyes need to be on the lookout for Charlotte and Louis, because they've never missed the event. Now they've already told us Kate won't be there. Strange. Yesterday they reported that she was seen bounding off on a shopping trip to buy chocolates or something. But somehow nobody had a smartphone on them that day. I mean, help me out here, folks. I've only been to the UK once. I don't know the area that well. So maybe someone from the area watching this can answer. Is this a busy shopping area? How likely is it that the number one trending topic would be seen happily shopping with her children, two of whom haven't been seen, and nobody managed to get a picture of them? You know what I think? I think they threw out this bait story about Kate being seen with the kids, not so much to throw people off about Kate, but to throw the scent off of the kids. Because now, when they don't turn up at the Trooping the Color event or on the balcony, people will say, "Oh, but they were seen the other day shopping with Kate." That's what I think the reason for this nonsense story is about Kate spotted going shopping. The fact that if people catch on that Charlotte and Louis are also missing and haven't been seen since Christmas, then they're really gonna have a problem. Because people are gonna start demanding to know WTF is going on. So I know this is a little channel, and there's only so much I can do except to scream out all my thoughts on this platform. But here's what I think people should do. During this event, however long it's going to be, the people need to come out with placards emblazoned with the question, "Where is Kate?" I think that is far more effective than the "Not My King" or "Abolish the Monarchy" placards. Because if the truth comes out, I don't think this monarchy will last for much longer.